Hello everyone, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today, as you can see by the title, we are here for ORL, this time around Bahrain for what I believe is the finale. So yeah, obviously we joined late, so it's going to feel like we haven't done many races, but yeah, that's literally just because we joined quite late on in the season. So yeah, coming into this one then, I was feeling very confident. Our pace was really good. Our personal best coming into it was a 23.856, I believe, which is quite a fast lap. And I was able to do 23s pretty much every session. And there wasn't that many drivers doing that. So, yeah, pace was very good going into this one. I think this is the best shot we have for getting pole, and maybe even the win, but we'll see. But, yeah, another thing that we were thinking about is the alternate strategy. That's where you purposely go for P11 so that you can start on fresh tyres. And you want to be starting on the hard tyres because as long as you have decent pace, you can stay within the DRS train on hards. And then when you make your pit stop onto mediums, you're close to the train with much fresher tyres. So yeah, that's a very good strategy, probably the fastest strategy on this track. But of course, that comes with its risks, you know, such as starting P11, being in the train, risk of damage, all that stuff. So yeah, what our plan was for this session was to do an initial lap, a push lap, and then what we'll do after that is we'll wait until the end of the session and see how far down the order we are. And if we're inside the top 10 and we feel like we're not going to drop down to P11, then we'll just go to pole. If not, then yeah, we'll start 11th or 12th or whatever. Then we'll be on the alternate strategy. So it is an interesting one because the alternate strategy is the same, if not faster, than the regular strategy. So yeah, we do. As we say there, someone in chat said, do a banker and then see where we're at the end of the session, and then we can be the last driver to go out. And then if we're inside the top 10, then we'll just try and go for pole. If not, then we'll yeah, we'll start in P11 hopefully. So yeah, doing our first run then. It's not super important how fast this lap is, depending on well, if we're doing the alternate strategy, because hopefully we actually fall down the order into P11. But if we do a good lap, then that's fine. We can just go for pole. So yeah, finishing our first lap then. It wasn't amazing, wasn't too bad, and we crossed the line to do a 24.3, which is P3 for now. And as I say there, we think that we still have the option. It'll be quite close. So yeah, as I say there, we'll just wait right to the end of the session, be the last driver to cross the line. And then, yeah, we'll push for pole, and then if we're in P11 or lower, we'll back off the lap and start on the hard tyres. So, yeah, skipping all the way to the end of the session now then. We are the last man to cross the line.
Alright, James, on my lap. You need to update me, okay? Even if I'm on the lap, right?
Yeah, okay.
So, we're going to go for pole then. Down into turn 1, brake in just before the 100 meter board. Avoid that curb. Short shift to third gear to get the traction, and then into 5th. Short shifting some more there. Use all that curb on the exit. As you can see, making small improvements on our run from the start of the session. Into turn 4, 100 meter board. Down to 4th gear. Short shift to 5th for the traction. Use all that exit curb. And now into the middle sector. Fast right-hander. Take a little bit of that curb and then full throttle through here. Make sure not to go too wide. That curb will send you off track. Down into the very tight hairpin. First gear and then short shift into 3rd. And as my engineer said there, Tomla backed out.
I'll keep letting you know. Yeah. Liam Parnell, 11th now.
And Liam Parnell, a very fast driver, only goes into P11. So, yeah, right now it's looking like we are going to have to complete the lap. Otherwise, if we back off, we will start P9 or P10. So, yeah, good thing we kept pushing on this lap. Otherwise, we might start P9 or 10, which is horrible. You definitely don't want to start there. So, yeah, coming to the final sector now, then braking on the curb, down to 4th gear, clip that inside curb, put the power down in 5th gear, and only one corner left to go. And right now, purple sector 2, we have one more corner, brake in on the curb, just after the 100 meter board, down to 4th gear. Don't hit that inside curb, but use the outside curb, short shifting into 5th, and coming up to the line, activating DRS. Where are we going to go? It's pole position with a 23.977. So, yeah, a decent lap. It was made a little bit harder for the fact that we didn't do all our runs. We only had 2 runs. So yeah, pole position then. I believe that is our first pole position in a league since moving to PC. So, yeah, took a while, but we got it. So we take our first pole position then with Alessio Di Capua, only 100th behind us. And the gap from him to Jarno, 1,000th. So, yeah, pace is very close. Caraton also within 1/10. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. All starting on the soft tyres. People to watch out for: Liam Parnell and Yanni Tormula on that alternate strategy. And I believe Jake Benham also in P15. A little bit further down than Tormula and Liam Parnell, but you can still definitely be a threat in the race. So, yeah, jumping straight into it then. For the final time on F1 2020, I believe, for ORL, it's the Bahrain Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go, and we have gained time on the man in P2 off the start. It's a miracle. Our starts are fixed. So going into turn 1 then, Alessio goes around the outside, but we shut the door. And we're going to maintain the lead coming out of turns. That's crazy. But yeah, Alessio uses a bit of ERS, so we go defensive. Use a little bit of ERS just to make sure we secure the lead. And yeah, coming into turn 4. Nicely done. We keep the lead. And yeah, now is about time management. So the tyre strategy for today is soft hard. And you want to pit anywhere in the region of lap 8 to lap 10. But you do get a big undercut around here. So ideally, you would want to go 8 to 9. But yeah, it's quite hard to make the tyres last, especially on this setup. As you can see, I'm sliding just a little bit. The setup isn't purely for the race. It's actually more of a quali setup. But yeah, it's manageable as long as you save the rears. So yeah, you might notice me going a little bit slower into corners. We might be short shifting. We might be going through corners in 3rd gear instead of 2nd. Just to try and minimize the sliding. So yeah, and another thing we'll also do, I'm not sure when we do it, but we change the brake bias from 50% to I believe we go to 52, and then we go to like 53, and then we end up at like 55 because we're that scared of getting the tyre wear on the rear. So yeah, that'll force the brake in towards the front, which will save the rear tyres, but you might also be a bit more prone to front lockup. So yeah, you have to be careful of that. Otherwise, if we could, we'd probably all just run like 60 or 70 or something to save the rear tyres. But yeah, braking performance would be a bit awful. So yeah, definitely want to stay on 50 unless you need to save the rears. Then I would recommend going up to maybe 53, or depending on how much you need to save the rears. So yeah, we've maintained the lead. We have a healthy gap. Alessio shouldn't just fly past us on a straight, because we're around 5 to 6 tenths coming out of the final corner, I believe, through these laps. So yeah, no threat from behind so far. But as you can see there, just a little bit cautious, 3rd gear through them corners. Try not to slide the rears through. And yeah, I talked about changing the brake bias, but we don't do it yet. But we do it eventually. I believe I read in chat that Jarno was already moving his bias to 52 at this point. So yeah, we all know Jarno is very good at saving his tyres. I think me and Alessio, not so much. But yeah, I was trying quite hard in this race to maintain the tyres, because I knew from practice, because I actually did some race practice, that yeah, the tyre wear can be tough, especially on the rears. So yeah, coming out the final corner, short shifting to 5th, very careful on the traction. And as I said, 6/10 gap to Alessio. So yeah, we no need to use ERS. He hasn't got DRS yet, or was enabled this lap. So yeah, not under any threat yet. But I presume as pit stops come around, he might want to gain to the lead before his pit stop. But yeah, moving on then. On to the end of lap 8. The pit stop window is definitely open. Our tyres are fairly worn, but we're actually going to decide to go for one more lap, just because we want the hards to go to the end with no issues. Because if you pit lap 8, the hards could become a problem at the end of the race. Primarily because of my setup, obviously the sliding and stuff. As you can see, my front brake bias is on 55%. So yeah, we're very weary of the rear tyre wear. So we're doing as much as we can to save the tyres. And as you can see, I'm going very cautious through the corners at this point, because the tyres are quite worn anyway, and also just trying to save them a little bit more. Because I believe I was actually in puncture territory on this lap. I'm not sure if I'm going to show my tyre wear at any point during the lap, but I believe I was over 75% at this point, which is enough for a puncture. I believe once you get to like 70-something%, then you're getting within puncture territory. So yeah, we do have to be a bit careful. Otherwise, we might end up puncturing these tyres and that's race over. But yeah, going very cautious through each corner. Alessio and Jarno also not yet to pit. But I believe a few cars further back did pit on lap 7 or lap 8. And that's going to be interesting to note because the undercut is very powerful here. So we may actually end up coming out behind them. As I say there,
Very powerful.
the undercut is very powerful. The guys who pit lap 7, 8, they might actually jump all of us. And then we'll be stuck in a train, which we don't want. And as I shown there on the tyre graphic, that was 77%. So at any point now, I could get a puncture. But yeah, we take it easy through the final corner. And we're going to make it into the pits. Making sure to slow down and not speed into the pits. As we do pretty nicely. Jarno carries on for an extra lap. So he's going to get undercutted heavily. But he's going to have the lap fresher tyres, which could make the difference towards the end. And yeah, making our pit stop now. No car to hold us.
JT's doing all right with the third.
Some good luck there. No one else was coming in. But yeah, as you'll see now, coming out of the pits, I believe it is Bent Szabo, CRG Patrick, and Patrick Crouch fly past me. So we've gone from P1 to P4, net P4, just because of that undercut. But
You got a car between you and Alessio.
yeah, on the final laps of this race, they're going to be horribly slow. And they might even get punctures at this point. So yeah, a little bit annoying being in a train. We might not be able to overtake, but yeah, towards the final laps, it should be pretty comfortable. Or they might even get punctures. Or maybe not. They could just have God RNG. In that case, it would have been better to pit lap 8, but I wasn't risking it. I was going lap 9. Jarno's not risking it. He's going lap 10, which we thought were the best strategies, but we'll see going on later into the race. So, skipping all the way on to end of lap 19, start of lap 20. As you can see, we're still in P4 on this train. We have some ERS saved up, but we just can't go for a move because, yeah, Bent is getting DRS slipstream, using some ERS. So, yeah, it's quite frustrating at this point. We need to just be patient and try and wait until their tyres die. But, yeah, we have Alessio and Jarno eager to get past. And coming into turn 1, I believe Alessio and Jarno go side by side. We get hit. Jarno and Alessio scrapping her out behind us. Jarno gets through. And, yeah, now that's not very good because he has 1 lap fresher tyres than us. And as the laps go on, it's going to make a difference. He's going to be a bit faster towards the end. So, yeah, we need to try and make a move, but as you've seen on that straight, Bent's actually stays quite far ahead of us because he has the DRS as well. So, yeah, quite frustrating that these guys ahead of us are managing to stay ahead of us, but, yeah, that's what you get when you go for the overcut and get undercutted like that. So, skipping on to lap 21 then, and we've decided we need to get a move on. So we start draining our battery. We're going to go for the move on Bent. We're going to go down the inside, brake later. Almost smash into the Mercedes in front, but we managed to hold it. We go side by side with Bent, but we can't quite get through. And we try again on the exit, but we're just draining our battery at this point. Bent's going to go defensive again. We're going to go to the outside. Going to try and brake later, but we don't end up going for it. And yeah, that was not great, because now we've wasted a lot of our battery. And we've not managed to get the move done. And we still need to be careful for Jarno behind us. But, yeah, very frustrating that I can't get past. But hopefully, I'm still hoping that these guys' tyres explode. Or they just become undrivable. Because if not, then, yeah, definitely should have gone lap 8. But, yeah, moving on. All the way to lap 24 then. And, yeah, Jarno's getting a little bit eager behind us. On them fresher tyres. He has a lot of his battery saved. The guys ahead start battling. We try and get a good exit, and we actually mess up a little bit there, which opens the door for Jarno. We're going to defend the inside. He's going to go round the outside. We want to brake as late as we can, but we don't want to smash into the cars ahead, so we go a little bit conservative. And that means Jarno just goes fully round the outside. And now he has all the battery. He has the tyre advantage. So yeah, not great. We were just going to try and go for it here, but yeah. Can't make that move stick. But, yeah. As I say there, that's not good. Because he's probably going to get through these guys. He's probably just going to send it on them. And we might not be able to follow through. But you never know. If we can follow him through, we may be able to make an overtake on the last lap. But yeah, as we break a bit late there and lock up. But yeah, after what happened when we went for the overtake on Benson, we almost smashed into the Mercedes because we locked up. I wasn't extremely confident on the brakes, so I didn't really just want to send it on people. When we probably should have. Probably would have definitely helped our race. We might be able to have got past these guys by now. But we played it patiently, and now Jarno's got through. So guess that's a mistake, not being more aggressive. But now coming onto the straight, we have no ERS. And yep, there's Alessio with all his battery going for it. We defend the inside. He goes down the inside anyway. We go right round to the outside. We're going to go side by side through turn 1. We're going to hold it, which turns to the inside for the next corner, and we hold the position, which was important because but now he goes side by side with Jake, covers the inside. Jake goes around the outside. Hopefully they don't smash into the back of me. They don't. It is fairly clean. And it's important to note Jake is on the fresh medium, so he did the alternate strat, which we were going to do. And as you can see, with 4 laps left, he's already on the back of this train. But I believe he actually got wing damage somewhere along the line. So that's why he's not further up. He probably could have been even past me right now. And up with Jarno, as Jarno goes to the move on Bent. And yeah, now this is unfortunate because we're probably not going to be able to get past Bent. And Jarno's going to pull off into the distance, overtake his teammate, and Patrick. So yeah, our race has kind of gone into the bin here. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. So moving on to lap 27 out of 29 then. We're coming towards the end of the race and we still have not been able to make a move. CRG Patrick goes deep, his tyres are going off. Benz passes him, but of course, we cannot get past. And he also has a penalty. This is extremely frustrating. Jarno only has 1 car to navigate, and that car pit lap 8. So, yeah, it's quite inevitable there's going to be a Jarno win. We need to get past Patrick, because he has very worn tyres, and his battery's flashing already. So we have a little bit more battery. So, yeah, we get past him on lap 28, and now we have lap 28 and 29 to overtake Bent and Patrick Crutch. But the advantage I have is this lap, and especially lap 29, my pace is going to be so much better because of them worn tyres.
It's crazy.
They might even get punctures. So, yeah, bit unfortunate. Jarno's in the lead now, and he's probably going to win the race because there's not much we can do. But we can't settle for 4th. We need at least a podium, considering where we was. So, yeah, on to lap 29. We had more battery, so we're able to send it down the inside. We have the tyre advantage as well, so we're going to brake later down the inside. This time we don't lock up and almost smash into the back of the Mercedes. So yeah, getting that move done. Benz doesn't have the traction to defend. And now we have this final lap to overtake Patrick. But annoyingly, very annoyingly, and very intentionally by Jarno, he wanted Mercedes to get 1-2 in the championship. So he stayed within DRS of Patrick Crutch. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to just fly past him, even though through the corners I'm so much quicker. He is going to have DRS from Jarno. So we're not going to be able to overtake him on this next straight. Because we have similar battery levels as well. So yeah, as you'll see, I'm going to use all my energy down the straight. Realize I'm not going to go for the overtake, so I save a little bit more. We're going to catch up a lot during this left-hander. As you can see, braking much later. Going to get better traction. We're starting to slide a little bit as well, but so this right-hander, you'll see the difference in tyre wear. So we close right up and get a better exit. Patrick's sliding around. We slide a little bit. We activate our ERS a little bit early, but we have one more corner to make the move. Patrick's going to go defensive. We're going to go to the outside. We're going to try the switchback. We're going to get a rocket ship out of the corner.
No way.
Yeah. we exit the corner too fast, and we just go straight into the back of him. Patrick parks are in a good place, and we've already left the session. That was probably the fastest I've ever left the session. So, yeah, Jarno wins the race with Patrick Crutch, his teammate, in P2. We come in home in P3. Very unfortunate, but yeah, it happens. We managed to take our first pole, so...
Of course they don't get punctures.
So, yeah, that's it from me today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.